Welcome to the public forum of the Stratford Town Council. It is Monday, November 13th, and as soon as I get the list of speakers, we can start. Frank, who's the first name on there? Can we just go, it doesn't really matter.
Sign-in chicken. When was that? How many years ago was that?
Okay, I call to the podium Frank Parody.
Good evening. My name is Frank Parody. I live at 798 East Broadway. Thank you for allowing me a few moments to say goodbye, I guess. Unfortunately, several of you are not here, but those of you who are here, our dialogue will then cease since the vast majority of you all sitting here will not be here again. It's been a long year. Second council that I've appeared before on several occasions. Hopefully your successors will be as kind and as considerate towards those of us who come before you, the usual suspects who come here on a regular basis and attempt to utilize their First Amendment and speak to those of you who have power in our community. For those of you who were succeeded and won, I congratulate you, Mr. Can. Those of you who are moving on with your lives, I congratulate you as well and wish you all well with that. The future is wide open. The future is possibility. Here comes our friend Mitzi, Miss Sentenzio. I've had the opportunity to do a mea culpa today about if anything I've ever said to anybody was ever taken harshly, and I mean that to, I guess, Ms. Harden, I guess Dr. LaPonte, and a few other people here. I want to apologize that in the heat of things, sometimes I speak with emotion rather than logic or with reason. Politics sometimes becomes too important, and it is only an election. It's only a small amount of stuff. It's not really all that important in the overall scheme of things. I guess maybe I hope that other people have something a little bit more insightful to say. Again, I get here and sometimes I just I do my best thinking in the shower. Some of us do our best singing in the shower. I do my best thinking in terms of what we're here to do. I wish you all luck. I wish you all a constructive future. I hope that the people who take over in your seats are able to be worthy of that opportunity, able to bring to this town the leadership that it deserves, that we need in this community. I would hope that we could build a better community somehow, also I guess by starting off by admitting who we are and what we are, and then from that trying to build upon it and create a new beginning. It is an opportunity to begin again. A lot of people are caught up in old conflicts in this town. If you mention somebody to somebody else, they say, I wouldn't work with him. I wouldn't urinate him if he were on fire. And that's an unfortunate version of things. You need to be able to forgive. You need to be able to have when you look in history, you look at people like Nelson Mandela or Dr. King, people who are able to, from the incredible difficulties that they encountered in their lives, still speak in terms of love or forgiveness or reconciliation. Perhaps we should try to find some love and forgiveness and reconciliation in our community, in our wider society. We can only really begin it here. Our power to influence things in Hartford is relatively limited. Our power to influence Washington, D.C. is probably non-existent. And that's my bell, and I wish you all success in your future endeavors, whatever those endeavors are. And I'll still be here. I'm here because there isn't anything worth watching on television. Nothing succeeds. Nothing is like, you know, somebody once said, is your cable out? Why are you here? This is our reality. I was here earlier for the recount. I've seen some amazing things happen in this room. I've seen some incredible things happen in this room, in this environment. I guess as Wally walks in, I might even say, I pray for everyone to do the best that they can. Thank you all.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Mr. Parody. The next speaker is Edward Goodrich.
Edward Goodrich, 2320 Elm Street. Thank you all for serving your town. It's been a great 2 years, probably not great in many terms, but you all volunteered and you all came up here and did the work for the town, and that speaks volumes for everyone. There's just a couple things that are kind of hanging, and I think is probably going to be left for the next council. A couple of topics that are unanswered, you know. Of course, if you don't vote on the budget tonight, the budget will be one. If you don't get that resolved. Number two is I'm kind of sad that we didn't see anything move really on the Shakespeare thing. I know we spent a couple years in the committee talking about things, and we didn't. I wanted to see this council, you know, move on something and put your name on something and be proud of something. The third thing is a lot of people in my neighborhood are kind of concerned about a center school. I know there was a resolution hanging on there, and they kind of know what's going on. I know we had a few things at the Baldwin Center with the charrette, and I'm on that committee, and things are moving forward. But there was also a resolution brought up, and of course that kind of got passed over too. So there's just a couple things that are kind of hanging here in the balance, you know, as the next council comes in. But I just wanted to say thank you all for coming up here and serving your town. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Gerald Gray.
Good evening, all. Gerald Gray of 29 Shoreline Drive. Last week, several Stratford events occurred, each of which illustrate to me who and what are the souls of the powers that control this town. The first, of course, was the election on Tuesday that guaranteed that the deeply entrenched powers that run this town will continue on with even greater power. We get the government we deserve. Congratulations, Stratford. I saw Thursday in our local paragon of fair and impartial journalism, the Stratford Star, a small box stating that a Veterans Memorial Service would be held at Academy Hill on Saturday, the 11th day of the 11th month at 11 o'clock. Even as Stratford Police Department told inquiring callers on Saturday that there was no service being held in Stratford, in the Star across from that little box was an item on the letters page, and it was a letter from a Seymour couple in which they rhapsodized with giddy frenzy the virtues of our local politician extraordinaire, Kevin Kelly. I was not surprised to see this infomercial, as I myself had been in the weeks prior to the election doing all I could to continue the work of our too soon departed justice warrior, George Mulligan, revealing to Stratfordites the history of actions of our Kevin Kelly, town attorney, Connecticut senator, et cetera, et cetera. George had for years submitted to the Star voluminous amounts of material about the great and powerful Kevin Kelly. Much of it never showed up in Star print, even though George well supported and substantiated what he submitted. I and others have likewise had similar experience with the demonstration of journalistic impartiality of our fair local newspaper. Congratulations, Stratford. So even as Stratford Police Department said there was nothing going on in Stratford on Veterans Day commemorating the veterans, I showed up at Stratford's Academy Hill, as I have since my younger days in Milford and Bridgeport shown up at their commemorative locations to pay tribute to the heroes, the veterans. My daddy, Joe Gray, was one such heroic soldier. He grew up dirt poor without a father in Marina Village, Bridgeport. And he was, the U.S. government was his surrogate dad, as he never had a dad, never had a toy, never had a bike. As he went foraging for thrown-away vegetables in the back of the market to bring home to his mother, a beautiful immigrant had come over on the boat as a gorgeous gal of 15 who had been snatched up by a real man about town who was double her age. As this gambling, womanizing character married her, produced 2 sons, John and Al, and then skipped town forever while my daddy was still in her belly. Yes, the U.S. government became a daddy to my daddy, even as he had to become a tough scrapper on the streets of Bridgeport while being on the dole, as they called it back then, as he had to wear government-issued shirts that had butterflies and flowers printed on them. My daddy, Joe Gray, enlisted the day after Pearl Harbor was bombed, and he valiantly served in the Pacific Theater. Barely made it back. I wouldn't be here today but for the tough Bridgeport street scrapper tenacity. My daddy stayed in service to the U.S. government for the rest of his life as a Department of Defense civilian. He worked day job for Uncle Sam, then came over to Nature's Way at night to help his wife and daughter with their budding business as we 3 worked 80-hour weeks to grow Nature's Way into a success. I participated in the memorial service Saturday, and I championed all our heroes. I touched the 2 brick stones in the walk that held Joe Gray and Al Gray's name. Touched the stone arch of the World War II on John Gray's name after Mr. Mastrani told us that John Gray and 2 others on that arch had gone down storming the beaches of Normandy. Our local hero politician, Kevin Kelly, was not there. I was glad that he was not there, as he would have made one of his pablum cliched speeches. Everything that my hero father, Joe Gray, and his wife and daughter created in their hard work and living the American dream has been stolen from us. Everything my daddy fought for has been taken from us and pocketed by predators here in the town of Stratford. And Kevin Kelly's hands are dripping the blood.
Okay, Ms. Gray, if you
Congratulations,
could finish
Stratford.
up, please.
This is a town of real heroes. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Linda Palermo.
Linda Palermo, 46 Fort Place. Good evening. I ask that we have lower taxes in this town, which is the platform Laura Hoydick and the Republicans said they would do, and they would fix the budget. Don't vote on a budget. Not yet. Let them vote on it next month. If they can lower it, God bless them, let's see them do it. I understand Lou DeCilio made a comment on Academy Hill on Saturday with regard to a complaint that had been filed with him at election enforcement. The comment was one I've often heard in the past from Ray Vacola when he was living. He said the 5th district gets nothing, so he should have nothing either. And Ray Vacola always used to say Linda Palermo should get nothing. I'm still here, I'm still kicking, and I'll go strong as long as the good Lord lets me. The other thing Mr. DeCilio did, he found his way into a confidential file. It's been sealed by a Superior Court judge years ago. It was my file. He's running around with a document, and it relates to me. My big concern is, how did he get his hands on a document that was in a locked-up seal? I am raising that question to court administration. And wherever that rock falls, however he comes down for it, let it happen, because he is the most devious person I have ever met. To say a district will get nothing because somebody wrote a complaint about him, I haven't even started mine. He should be put out of this town hall and not run the business people because he does nothing. There again I say, those who work to make the budget be where it is today and work so very hard with the outgoing mayor should be ashamed of themselves. You did nothing for the public. You did it for yourself and him. I say, again, don't vote on the budget tonight. Let it move over. I'm one of your constituents. My carrying charges are going up in my co-op again and again. And we have to stop this nonsense from carrying on. do not vote on the budget tonight, let them show how they could bring it down since that was their platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next speaker is Ann Eisinger.
Good evening. My name is Ann Eisinger. I live at 90 Eaton Street in the 5th District, and I vote in the 5th District. I would like to compliment the sitting council at the moment. I think you've done a very good job over the last 2 years, and we hope that we will see the same in the next council. I have come here because I was told that you were going to vote on the budget tonight, and that there was going to be a very big increase in taxes to us. I went to 2 out of 3 of the debates, and in those debates, I heard all 3 of the candidates say that they would like to lower our taxes. And I think we should follow, I believe that Councilman Khan put up 3 decent budgets, and you should be able to make something out of that. And so I think also that since the mayor-elect had conceded with that also, I think you should give her a chance, you know, to start with a lower level and bring it down and show us how much you can save. And that's what I have to say tonight. And thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening. The next speaker is Laura Dobis.
I love doing this. Hi, I'm Laura Dobis, 1460 Elm Street. First of all, I'm going to read from my writing. I never really do this. I often in the mic. Heart, but I wrote some things down. I'm here, first of all, to thank all of you for your service, obviously, for the past couple of years. It's not easy. I've learned that over the years. I echo the previous speaker that I don't understand why you would vote for a budget right now. We just haven't come up with one over the summer. I just think we should leave it to the next administration. Clearly, they ran on a platform that they know what they're doing and they can fix this. So I kind of think we should just let them do it, you know, if that's what they want to do. Give it a whirl. But to this exiting council, more importantly, I have to say, through hard work and research, you guys, you know, you really did draft 3 very viable budgets. They were all vetoed by the administration. For whatever reason, they were. Much talk has been made over this election season over the Council 6's inability to compromise, over their, you know, inability to be civil, and we've heard all of these song and dances, you know. Well, I've worked on a lot of campaigns, and I've worked with all of you on both sides of this aisle. And I think that's kind of not fair. You know, when you want to talk about civility, you guys were faced against a lot. You were faced a whole chamber full of children with placards, and you're expected to be civil. And you know, and your facts and your money, you know, everything that you had was right. And I'm going off speech, I'm sorry, I'm going off script, but now I'm speaking from the heart. You guys did as hard as you could in getting that budget passed. And you were met with uncompromised walls, and I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that you guys are going to leave with a legacy that you were difficult, or that you were uncivil, or that things happened, that you were obnoxious, or all those things. You weren't. I witnessed you, and I watched everything that you guys did. And I was behind closed doors with you guys working tirelessly over this stuff. And, you know, if this new administration that has won, if they think they can do better, then I applaud them, because I hope to God they can. I don't know that I believe that, but that's my own little biased opinion. Anyway, again, I wrote all this down. I don't care. Everybody else ignores that, so I'm going to ignore it too. I just don't care anymore. I don't know. I just think that this town should applaud all 10 of the council people that are exiting right now, because they've all worked really, really hard. And what's gone on over the past 2 years has been unprecedented with ugliness. And I don't think that my team deserves it. And I don't think the other team deserves it, if we want to call it teams or whatnot. I don't know. I leave watching this council exit feeling like there's unfinished business that never got taken care of. And I feel like it's not their fault. I feel like powers that are above them took control and manipulated things. I watch all of you that have worked so hard. I just feel like my stomach's empty watching all of you exit. I feel like I wished you guys had another 6 months. Anyway, I rambled again. No matter how much I wrote, I still rambled. But anyway, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dobis. Is there another sheet? Is there another sheet with signatures on it?
No.
No? We have a few more minutes before as Jen B. So the next speaker is Jen B.
Do I have to write it down?
Please, thank you.
Hi, Jennifer Benai, 173 Woodcrest, and I'm here because, can you hear me okay?
In the mic, please.
Okay. I am here because for a few months now, between the ordinance and the town council, you've had fracking waste ban on there. I think everybody's in support of passing such a thing. A couple of towns just passed it since the ordinance meeting even, so it keeps on going and going throughout Connecticut. And this can be your last hurrah, town council. I would be so proud. I'm proud of you guys anyway, really. Like, you've done a great job. I haven't agreed with any of you all of the time ever, but I'm really proud of all of you for working, because this really seems like a thankless job. I've seen you and your stamina and hanging out here, and like, I just peace out, because I know what you're doing is really hard. Have this be your legacy. Pass the fracking waste. Philip, thank you for having it champion on ordinance, and Greg, thank you for championing this through the Conservation Commission and bringing town council. So let's get it done. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wanted to say anything? Next speaker is Don Petrimus.
Donald Petrimus, 95 Torcy Street. After running for the 7th District Council and losing, okay, number one is I know what you guys went through to get elected, okay? And I thank you for that. Number two is I thank you for your 2 years of work that you've done here, unpaid, to work not only on the council, but on the WPCA, on the ordinance committee, and all the various other committees that you are involved in. Okay? I thank you for your time. I thank you for your effort. And once again, thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 4 more minutes before a mandatory shutdown of this public forum. Is there anybody else who wanted to speak? Nope. In that case, I'm going to call a recess for 4 minutes. I will come back and then close the public forum. So we're in recess for 4 minutes. Sometimes it's been entertaining. I'll never forget the beaver trap person coming in here with the beaver trap and demonstrating that. But it's always been interesting, and there's been a cross-section of Stratford here. Usually in the December meeting, when people are being inaugurated in, there is no public forum for that meeting. So I just want to remind you of that. Okay, thank you very much.